never live in a place where I'm not seen. My covert, malignant, narcissistic mother kicked me out. I could not exist around her for whatever reasons I triggered her. Pretty much told me I was just like too difficult. That's just my survival story. Even when I was scared and I had nowhere to go, I still chose myself. Because how I was being treated in that house by her and my own siblings was emotionally abusive. And it was having a biological effect on my body. It resulted into like chronic illness. And a part of me ever wonders, like, will I ever have someone? Will I ever be safe? Will I ever be loved? And those questions feel very far away. I don't know. I know this isn't the end of my story. I'm just somebody with a deep heart, craving what every human needs. Love, safety, understanding. Growing up in an emotionally unavailable home that's neglectful and abusive, it trains you to accept crumbs of love. I start reading the room like my life depends on it, because it kind of does. Learn body languages, tones, mood shifts. Is it safe right now? Is there any love here for me? Do I matter here? Am I not enough? Am I seen for who I really am? I would get love. It's like, let's say my stepdad had chips and I would be like, can I have a chip? And let's say he'd give me like a handful of chips, like 5 or more. I was like, wow, maybe I do matter a little. He cares about me. He gave me some chips. That's survival love, you know? Sometimes I would be just told, like, go get your own. And about the chips. So unwanted and so unseen I felt. Just quietly, tenderly hoping that these people in this house had a soft spot for me. Because I know deep down, like, I might have, you know? And I remember him, like, yelling at me about something. Getting under my skin about something, like always. And I was moving out that day and I asked, like, are you gonna miss me when I'm gone? I'm gonna miss all my kids. He gave me that blanket generic answer because he was emotionally unavailable. I was just asking if my presence ever mattered, you know? I wasn't just like another body in the house. I wanted to know if there was any part of me that landed in his heart. People that don't know how to attach securely, they don't go there. Always vague. Being specific is risky because it requires them to feel. A one-size-fits-all answer. My heart was so trying, even when I already knew the answer. Always just thinking, like, do I matter in this house at all? Because nobody ever said it. Nobody made me ever feel like I was. Never gave me that consistent, nourishing reassurance. My nervous system had to translate pain into proof. Yelling at me became, I matter. Criticism at me became, at least they're paying attention to me. Control became a way of, they must care about me in their own way. That's the heartbreaking part of growing up in dysfunction, is like you learn what dysfunctional love is and you try to decode what it means. I mistake chaos for closeness, bonding over dysfunction, believe that getting under somebody's skin is intimacy, and provoking me to anger or provoking me to react is me being seen in some way. But their love was just broken. And especially my covert narcissistic stepdad, who was also pretty grandiose because he would react a lot with anger. He wasn't evil. He just had a very limited capacity to offer love rather than just to admit his own flaws and his own faults, even though he was well aware in some ways. It just made me feel like I was the problem. I was scapegoated. I wasn't your normal typical scapegoat, okay? I gave them a lot of narcissistic injuries because I stood up for myself and accept the role they tried to shove down my throat of being the scapegoat. I was loud, fought back, and I questioned. And like my mom would say, like, you know, mom would always say, you know, I'm fiery, I'm a pistol. Sharp, I challenge people in their narratives. Don't let people control me. I hate it. I hate being controlled. Probably half joking, half irritated. But deep down, it was her way of acknowledging that I was powerful as a kid. In my own mind, I questioned things. Somebody like her who's emotionally rigid and narcissistic, threatening. I was never an easy child, and thank God for that. I wasn't your typical scapegoat that just curled up in a ball. In the middle of emotional chaos, I had my fire. My presence made them feel things they never wanted to feel. Reflected back to them everything they're running from. Tenderness, empathy, softness, morality. I was definitely punished for being soft. Every time I speak my truth, every time I feel my feelings, every time I stay soft, I'm undoing everything they try to suppress. That's why healing is my rebellion. I am a moral rebel. I wasn't rebellious for the sake of being difficult. I rebelled against the lie. The lie that silence is safer. The lie that love has to hurt. The lie that I need to be the bigger person. The lie that I need to shrink myself to be comfortable around broken people. I stood in rooms where nobody told the truth, but I told it anyways. That's what a moral rebel does. Chose to stay awake. Chose to love in spaces where I was taught to harden, and felt the weight of everybody's emotional denial. I can see the soul underneath the sickness. With all the emotional abuse, smearing my name, the projection, me and my mom are deeply connected. I was born wired to my mom. I see that flicker of love that she can't express. I see the tenderness that she stuffed down. I see the mother she could be if she healed. I saw the child inside of her when she could only show me tyrant. I knew she hated herself. I even asked my mom, like, do you love yourself? And she responded with, of course she does. I wasn't asking that to attack her. I just knew, like, the way she treated me, there's no way. The answer was not real. It was armor. People that love themselves, they don't belittle other people. They don't try to control other people, gaslight other people, emotionally abuse them, and not take any accountability for it or not feel bad about it. Be able to receive the kind of love I offered if she did. Even with her narcissism, even with her emotional abuse, even with the distance, there's this unspoken, energetic tie. There's a bond between us underneath it all. No matter how much dysfunction poisoned the surface, I went to her right now and said, Mom, I love you. She probably wouldn't know what to do with it. It would just hit a place in her heart that's locked away. There's a part of her that would want to make it work. My love is not performative. It's not fake. It's not conditional. The thing is, my mom wants love. All narcissists do. They don't know how to receive it, crave that bond, but they fear the vulnerability that comes with it. They just sabotage the relationship. They project. They don't trust anyone. They believe they're unlovable. Me being deeply empathetic and real and wise, I see both. The part of her that hurts me, and there's also a part of her that loves me. The bond is real, but it's unsafe. And that's why I had to walk away. I love you, but I can't stay close to you. That would mean betraying myself. Choose myself after a lifetime of never being chosen. She would always send the message that, like, I'm too sensitive, or like, don't say that. Why can't you be more like so-and-so? Be quieter. There's like these subtle messages that you get that chips away at you where you can't show up fully. A slow pressure to become somebody else to make her comfortable. I felt that urge to edit myself. Like these unspoken rules. Don't be too silly. Don't be too goofy. Don't be too loud. Don't make me uncomfortable. Don't speak your truth. I was emotionally policed. I was not free. I have a big personality, a huge personality, so I was her judgmental energy trying to keep me contained. I wanted to be goofy, lighthearted, creative, live. Like this gut level shame, like, she roll her eyes? Will I get mocked? Will she accept me? She shut me down. Like the version of me that's super playful, super weird, expressive, like that's the real me. Fiery, sassy, take no shit from anyone, like confident, that's me, but she wanted to shrink that. I felt like I couldn't take up space. My feelings were too inconvenient. Playfulness was too unpredictable. Questions were too threatening. Slap labels on me. Don't cuss. Don't be dramatic. Too much. You're too sensitive. Tone yourself down. You could never celebrate me. She just wanted to manage her own image. Wanted obedience, not authenticity. It was emotional suffocation. The whole climate of the house was like that, not just my mom. I'm too expressive. I get smug looks, like you just want attention. If I spoke the truth, smug looks, eye rolls, fucking energy. Joyful or emotional at all? How dare you take up space? How dare you laugh? Like, I was living there with that a chronic illness. I was laughing and my stepdad goes, yeah, you're really sick and everything and you're going through a lot, but you're laughing. Like, okay, I can't cope. I can't laugh. Like, I'm not dead. I still have a joyful spirit, a sense of humor. You need to be silent. You need to be serious. And narcissists, they hate your joy. Joy is a proof of freedom. It infuriates them. I joke after trauma, when I laugh in the face of chronic illness, express myself when I dance, when I sing. That's doing everything they can't do. They know it. The light exposes their darkness. I don't need their approval to stay lit. My healing is my revenge. I'm alive, I'm laughing, and I'm unstoppable.